Today I'm going to tell you the deepest truth of your spiritual awakening. And it's probably one you already know, but you're kind of afraid to admit to yourself. So today, for everyone that hasn't been following along with the rest of the series, this is part 6 of my Divine Feminine Awakening series. And it's for anyone seeing signs, synchronicities, repeating numbers, having crazy dreams, visions, or just those little nagging feelings like something in the world isn't right. This is for you. And this truth I'm going to tell you today, it's not something that's new. It's, excuse me, throat chakra, you guys. This is a truth that has been revealed to you by mystics and teachers and leaders throughout history. And it's one that is really, I guess, difficult for us to accept because we grew up in a society where we're very conditioned to follow along, to obey rules. And from when we're in childhood, we're taught to obey without question with our parents. And a lot of us in my generation, millennials and older, grew up in very authoritarian households where our parents were like, it's my way or the highway. And if you don't want to do what they want, they're going to smack you around a little bit. So we learned very early on in life that compliance equals safety. So when we start to question these beliefs that we've been spoon-fed by the power structure all this time, that's really, really scary for us. So we catch these glimpses of the truth where we know and where it peeks through a little bit, but then we try to put back on our mask. We're like, no, I don't know. No, I'm a sheep like everybody else. No, don't look at me. I don't know. I'm not the one who's different. I'm not going to stand out. I'm not going to speak up. I'm not going to speak truth to power because I know, like me, in other lives, I have spoken truth to power and I was killed for it. But now with the internet and with information so much more available, then these powers that be, they're losing their power and they're losing their hold on us. And capitalism, Christianity, the patriarchy, they're all kind of crumbling down. And you can see that this is like their extinction burst. It's like when you try, I don't know, to teach your dog something. It's like their last big hissy fit because they know that it's not going to work out anymore. And so I'm here now, and I'm telling you the truth that you probably already know. So I'm going to read you this. It's from my journal from 2002, and follow along with me. So in February 2002, when I was channeling the goddess mother so that she could talk to my ex, there was one point that I got up and looked in the mirror. At that moment, it was like our souls blended. I was seeing my own face in the mirror, overlaid by her face, his face, the face of the girl inside the crystal in Atlantis. I felt like I was at once myself and goddess seeing the world through someone else's eyes. I felt this amazing sense of love and wholeness that words are inadequate to describe. I knew in that moment a kind of oneness with everything. It was like I knew that everything was in me. Even the devil, the ultimate evil, I knew that evil was simply a part of myself that forgot to love myself. I don't know if that makes sense. It was as if by acknowledging the ultimate evil within myself, I could forgive it. And also, I would add, coming from now, I could apologize to my other self for it. I could solve the problem because I was the problem. I had the power to save the best of myself from the worst of myself. I had the power to let go and move on. It was a very liberating feeling, knowing that all I had to do was, in that little part of myself that despised myself, that felt sad and tired and angry and powerless, all I had to do in that little part of myself was to stop, to surrender to love, to decide to stop having a pity party, to realize that the only thing stopping me from being happy was my own longing for unhappiness. And this experience of this oneness has been described by other writers too as well throughout history. And here's some quotes from them. One of my favorites, Khalil Gibran, in his book The Prophet, said, "Love is eternity, gazing at itself in the mirror. You are eternity, and you are the mirror." And in Corinthians 13 in the Bible, it says this, "But when that which is perfect comes, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know, even as I am also known. And Rumi, the mystic poet, says this: there was someone who looks at us, after us, from behind the curtain. In truth, we are not here. This is our shadow. And Deepak Chopra says this: God can be compared to someone looking in a mirror that surrounds her on all sides, so that everywhere she gazes, she sees her own reflection. And notice in that last quote, Deepak Chopra is referring to God as a woman. I found that very interesting because as a woman myself, I connect to this very divine feminine, hence the name for this series. So guys, my homework for you is go, after you watch this video, go look in the mirror, take off the mask, take off the layers. Remember, you are the goddess. You are the goddess mother. You are a piece of her living in this human body, but we are all the divine self living these separate lives, these separate stories, and these separate bodies. But the truth is, we're not separate. We are all one. We are all the mother. And when we can acknowledge that in ourselves and acknowledge that in others, everyone's face you look into, remember, you are looking into the face of the goddess always. And then when you can do that, you can look at yourself, you can look at everyone with that divine unconditional love, because the one who truly sees you, truly knows you, loves you unconditionally. And when you can break off all these layers, all these feelings of unworthiness, all these imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs, and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am the goddess. I love you. I love you. Beautiful, beautiful goddess. That's when you know. That is what your spiritual awakening is all about. That's what it's supposed to help you find. It's about remembering who you are. And it can be painful. It can be scary. It can be hard taking the mask off. And sometimes you'll take it off a little bit and then you put it back on because you're like, no, I don't want people to look at me. People won't like me. People will think I'm bad. Because that's what we were taught by the church to believe, that the goddess was bad. That's what the whole story of the Old Testament and the Bible is about. It's about first vilifying the goddess, saying that she's a demon. Then God killed her in the book of Zechariah. I can read it later if you guys are interested, that whole story. But so Christianity, that's what they did. They killed the goddess. They stuffed her in a tomb. They said, you're dead. Sorry. And then they erased her from the narrative. They retranslated the name of the goddess to a sacred grove of trees in modern translations like the New Revised Standard Edition of the Bible. It doesn't even have her name in there anymore. So that's why you are so scared to express your divine feminine self, is because you have been killed so many times for being who you are. But this time, you're behind too many faces. You're taking the mask off in so many forms now. They can't kill all of us because there are too many of us who know the truth. And when you know the truth and you speak the truth and you see the truth in everyone else, you help other beautiful, beautiful, divine feminine women to rise into their goddess self as well. Because the last stage, I feel like, of my spiritual awakening, sorry guys, was like being cleansed with fire. It was like you go through water, you go through earth, you ground yourself in nature, you feel the wind on your face, but finally, you just gotta burn away everything that isn't you. You gotta take a match, you gotta light it, you gotta throw it on all that baggage and just say, it's gone. That's not me anymore. I am not that person anymore. I am not small, I am not afraid, and I am done. And then you burn. But after you burn, you rise like the phoenix from the ashes and you can fly. I love you.